Man, sales is tough. I'm just not cut out to be a salesperson. Have you ever felt that way? Selling doesn't need to be so difficult. My name is Harry Spate. I'm here to serve and to help you succeed. Join me as we discuss sales made easy.
That I see what you're doing, and the fact that if I've had a chance to talk to you via live stream or even via recorded video and I left a message at the bottom of your video on YouTube and you answered back, that is priceless when it comes to business. Priceless. So yeah, no, there is something to video. It is not going away. And nobody is saying that you need to be Spike Lee, Scorsese, Julie Dash, name any director. Nobody is saying that. But what we are saying is that you need to master it for your purposes. And mastery for you may be a different type of mastery for someone else.
Today I have with me on the Sales Made Easy podcast, Dr. Tachi. That's the brand she goes by, and she is a wonderful human being, and she's got tons of experience on social media and video, and I hope that you guys are able to apply some of the cool things that she's doing in your sales and growing your business, because media and video is where it's at these days. So Dr. Tachi, she comes, well, let me just give you a little description about her. She is a Howard alum from Howard University in Washington, D.C. She's also a social media enthusiast and consultant, and she has fully jumped into the live streaming revolution. She consults groups and individuals to be more effective on social media, video, and live stream production. And she has her own program, which is the Media Scope on Instagram, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and a host of other places. If you Google Dr. Tachi, I'm pretty sure you're going to find this wonderful woman. So Dr. Tachi, welcome to the Sales Made Easy podcast. What's the good word?
Oh, wow. The good word is that I'm on with you. I am so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So first of all, this woman has incredible energy. I met her, kind of listened to her on Clubhouse, and I said, I need to have this person on the Sales Made Easy podcast. So in that room on Clubhouse, we were talking a little bit about social media, podcasting, and doing video. And you mentioned video is really your passion today. Can we explore that a little bit and tell us what that means? Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you sure you have time? Because I could spend all day on it.
All right, I'm up for it because I want to be better with video. So I'm taking notes.
Absolutely. So it's funny because I started, so I'll tell you how I started. My nickname when I was a child was TV Addict. My sister and I. Because all we did, well, we played, but we watched TV. The TV was always on in the background. In fact, my mother has a picture of my sister and I. You know, they're taking pictures. They're both like amateur photographers. And we're looking off to the side. I was like, what the hell were we looking at? We were watching TV. So I knew that I was enamored with TV and video and entertainment from a very early age, to the fact where my father actually suggested that was going to be my major. Once he discovered I was not interested in being a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, which is typically what Nigerian families will push you into. So I said, oh, no, not I, said the cat. And he said, well, you liked it because I also like to act. So you like acting and theater and television. Have you thought about mass media or mass communication? So I looked it up and I said, oh, by George, that's what I'll do. So all three of my degrees are mass media, mass communication, particularly looking at African images in film, looking at people of color and their images in media in general. I love media theory. I love media production. So anything that's like media or video is what I'm into. So that's kind of how I got my start and leads me to where we are now.
Wow. So when you were a little kid, you're watching television and this became basically your career, your passion.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, who knew, right?
Who knew?
And do you remind your parents that watching TV was a good thing?
No, usually because I'm too busy watching TV to remind them of
Oh man, I have to rethink my kids on video. So maybe that's the answer right there that I haven't been thinking about.
Yeah, yeah. The whole thing is, I think there was something there. If you see that your child has a knack for something or is passionate about something, see how you can turn that around so it works for them, or they can actually make money for it instead of dissuading them. I think so. It worked for me, even though that was not their original path.
Right, right. So talk to me about, so you've done the education, you're a professor, and you do video. So what is it you really do? If you don't
That's a
mind. I
good
mean, it may
question.
be everything, but I mean, yeah.
I asked myself the same damn thing. So I think my mother is like, so what the hell do you really do? I don't know. I just am. Is that not enough?
That is,
So
that's good.
I just am. So yes, I am a professor. So what happens is, so now continuing the story, you in undergrad, I was very focused on both theory and production. So the communication program was more of a theoretical program, but the mass media program was production. It taught you to be an independent film and video maker. So the two together, one was my major, one was my minor, it kind of meshed together. And so that theoretical end was good because it did set the scene for me to go and excel in graduate school. Because that's going to be, I didn't go to a film program where I'm being practical. So yeah, I did need that. But I knew that at heart I was a creative and a producer as well. So that's where the practical side comes in. So once I got my PhD in 2005 from Howard, and I was already teaching. I started teaching like my second year in the PhD program, and I was like, this is a lot of fun. Okay, I can keep doing this. So, and I entered the PhD program. I didn't initially intend to go for a
Mm.
doctorate. I was going to stop at the master's. But when I was getting ready to graduate, I saw what the landscape was out there for jobs. And I was like, so is this what's in store for me? Something less than what I thought I should have with the master's. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go on and see what this is
Hmm.
about. So I entered the PhD program and
Wow.
really ended up loving teaching. I taught when I was in the program. I taught at Howard as a teaching associate. I had like several classes. Then I actually got a job as a professor at Morgan State University in Baltimore. So I was still finishing up my PhD, but I already had a job at Morgan. So I went there, and I was also teaching part time as well at George Washington University. So I was already deeply entrenched in the academy before I even graduated.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's,
that was the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say that's impressive. Did you see yourself going down that path or did it just kind of happen along the way?
No, it just kind of happened along the way. And the fact that I actually started teaching, and not just teaching, but presenting at conferences and things, because the Howard program really pushed you to do that. I was
Yeah.
also part of a national program called Preparing Future Faculty, which prepared you to go into the college classroom. So I was being prepared to do this. So things just sort of aligned
Hmm.
in that way. And because I thought it was fun, I ended up going that path, and that was obviously the path I thought I was supposed to take once I got out. Oh, you go to a university, you get a tenure track position, and that's what you do. But that's
But
not what
you
I'm
didn't.
doing now.
But you didn't. There was a line. Good pause. All right. So then you started. You also had an entrepreneurial bug, I presume, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So
My
the
mother,
whole that's a big difference, right? So someone's looking for the stability. Not that you were, but you're in a very stable, what appears to be on the outside stable for those of us who
yeah,
are not in education, but it looks pretty stable. And then you can say, I can do this for a while. I get all kinds of benefits. I'm a doctor for crying out loud. I mean, I got things going for me. Why would anyone leave that?
And that's what people always ask. And to be honest, that's what keeps you as a part of the machine. And that's okay for people who want to be part of
Yeah.
that. But I knew somewhere in the back of my head that that was not what I was supposed to do forever full time. And it's interesting because even I decided that I was going to leave academia full time in 2015. And of course, I had in the back of my head, do I really want to do that? And in fact, they didn't really want me to leave. It took me a minute to get them my letter saying that I was leaving. And the dean said, do you think she changed her mind? Like, hopeful that I was not going to leave because they knew the things that I brought, the industry experience, the entrepreneurs. They knew that that's what I was giving to the students. And I had contacts in the industry that they didn't have. So beyond that, they also knew that they liked the students like me as a professor. But I knew that if there was a ceiling that I hit there was nothing else. I make lists whenever I go someplace. I had checked off everything on my list that I wanted to accomplish at that university. So it was time for me to move on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's impressive that it's a it's not easy to make that right, to make that recognition and go into the land of being uncomfortable, right?
Right. But change doesn't come unless you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. So how? All right. So then what? So did we go into video and that world right after you left the teaching, or yeah?
Yeah, kind of. So
Okay.
I went before I left full time academe. So the month I graduated in May of 2015. No, sorry, 2005.
Yeah.
In June of 2005, I went to New York, back to New York Film Academy, because I realized in the time that I had been in grad school, everything production wise had changed and I needed to go back and relearn. No clue why. I just said I need to go back and relearn. So I have that skill under my belt.
Yeah.
So I started doing that and I started doing little projects, etc. Then I produced, what was it, in 2012, while I was at the university, we produced our first documentary, which we actually won Best Documentary for in the Miami Fashion Film Festival, called Runway Afrique. Right. We started production on another one, which we never got a chance to finish. But then there was another fashion-oriented one called Sunshine Chic, which was an official selection in a couple of film festivals. So I had been producing and doing things all the while I was a professor, but knew that to really throw myself in fully, it can be done, but it's really difficult to do full-time academe and then a lot of creative projects because your allegiance is with them. Right. And, universities are quick to let you know that. Yeah. So that's when I knew, I was like, yeah, in a few years, I probably need to make my exit stage left. So.
Yeah. All right. So the video is fascinating for me. I'm an older guy, and the reason I say that is I could very easily be old school. And a lot of my peers in my age group are old school and are horrified, and myself included, of video just not that long ago. And I would say probably what everyone else says. I don't like the sound of my voice. I've heard Tom Langen, who we give a shout out here, who to me is like a master when I listen to him. It's like, oh, wise one, what do you tell me when I don't like my voice? And he says, there's a scientific reason why we don't like our own voice. There's something in the eardrums. It's like, oh my God, okay, so I'm not alone. But what I've learned is that we don't necessarily have to be great at video, but it really should be part of branding and for businesses to get their message out. So what's your thought on this? Is this something that's going away? What's the value of it? You have the floor, my dear.
It's not going away. And anybody who thinks it is, not to be harsh or brash, but get ready to have a very difficult time in business. Look, we live in the era now where customers are no longer satisfied. Customers and clients are no longer satisfied with the arm's length attitude, with the I can't ask questions and reach out or know who I'm talking to. And the thing is, remember, the no like trust factor is what really causes us to purchase from you or to become a client of yours, right? The fact that
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're doing and the fact that if I've had a chance to talk to you via live stream or even via recorded video and I left a message at the bottom of your video on YouTube and you answered back, that is priceless when it comes to business. Priceless.
Okay.
So yeah, no, there is something to video. It is not going away. And nobody is saying that you need to be Spike Lee, Scorsese, Julie Dash, name any director. Nobody is saying that. But what we are saying is that you need to master it for your purposes. And mastery for you may be a different type of mastery for someone else.
Awesome. So what kind of businesses can be using video? Is this across the board, or what's your thought there?
Across the board,
Yeah.
everyone. I've had people from podiatrist offices to real estate and beyond who have come to me because they want to learn how to do video better or they want me to kind of work with them on some kind of video strategy. It is across the board. There is no one who cannot benefit from using video as a part of their strategy. When people see you, they get to know you. And even if they're not seeing you, because I always tell people, you know what, you can do video and utilize video without always being seen. That's okay because there are some people that are camera shy. So there are ways of doing that. But I think across the board, every single field, every single occupation can benefit from incorporating video or from incorporating video into their strategy. Definitely.
Yeah. Wow. So you mentioned the podiatrist.
Yeah.
What other areas would someone not necessarily think that video would be helpful that is really right under their nose probably that
That's a good
use? Yeah. Because
that
I
is
mean, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. You go.
no, you go. You go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So I think of like real estate, for instance, right? There's all of these realtors out there and they're posting pictures of houses and whatever, real estate, mortgage brokers, insurance people, they're all saying what they do, but there's no or very little, if any, personality behind that. So if I see a post that comes up and says, look, we sold another house, it's like, okay. Or, do this for your insurance, okay. Doesn't mean I warm up to the person. Talk to me.
This is what I'm really happy you're saying this because I work with realtors. Obviously, there's one realtor that I work with solidly all the time, and this is going on like 3 years right now. 4 years. So
Okay.
the thing is, I let him know, here's the thing. Everybody that's a real estate person is selling houses or doing mortgages or whatever the case, whatever their specialty is. But are they trying to become the person's friend through their personality? Are they doing video? I will tell you that on the whole, most realtors, or I should say most, many realtors are not doing video because they're either apprehensive or afraid of it, or they think they don't have time. Do you have time to make money? Then you better make time for video. So, and when you think about it with realtors, you are there, especially now in real estate, there is only a 30-day inventory for all realtors. That means if you sell everything, nobody has anything to sell. So we have very low inventory right now, but
Right.
high demand, which is why prices are sky high. But so what do you do then in the off season? Because there inevitably will be an off season if you don't have anything to sell. If that's your only way of bread and butter, you're in trouble. Have you thought about starting a podcast? Have you thought about starting a video series that teaches one aspect or another? those are things that you can monetize. Have you thought about teaching a live class, which is live streaming, which are things you can monetize? So I think that you are leaving money and experience on the table when in a place like real estate, you're not doing video. And I don't just mean doing a drone video of your listing.
Right.
That's wonderful. That's nice. But what happens is, and you live in Florida, you know all these houses look the same from the sky. Every damn house looks the same. So what you're showing me is not anything spectacular. It's nice, but after like the 25th or 26th one that you see, you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about this doorknob here? It's so amazing. Can you tell me that story of the doorknob? Can you tell me the story of this little aspect? What made you buy the house? So one thing that I've done with Realtor is we have like 3 series going right now. One is called Tuesdays with Gary, and this is where he gives real estate advice. We just started another one called At Home with Gary, where we are actually touring. It's kind of like an HGTV thing.
Yeah.
So you're getting to know about him. You're getting to know about the people he brings on. You're getting to know about the beautiful features of a house, and not just beyond. What was it about this building or this house? Beyond the surface. And what I see a lot in real estate right now is a lot of it is surface. If you want me to, let me tell you this, the realtor I'm working with now, he sold me my house.
Okay.
And there was something about his personality that made me go with him. And this was, I found him on Craigslist, but there was something about his picture, the words there. And then when I met him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely the one. So I knew that he was a perfect candidate for video, because if I fell in love with you as a realtor, so will other people.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is it about the video, right? Because you mentioned the drones and so forth. Like, people are showing their product, right? What they're selling, but that's not necessarily the answer, right?
No, it's one part of the equation. Let's not kid ourselves. People, they're selling homes. So people want to see the homes. They want to see the listings. Yep. But should that, when you are posting on social media, should that be all we see, all of your listings? If you're just showing us houses, we don't know anything about you. I don't know that you actually know how to conduct this transaction properly.
Right. Yeah.
So these are things that you can show through video. Do short little videos. Even just pull out your phone. Talk about today, and you don't have to give names or anything. Today I had a transaction that was especially challenging because of XYZ. What I learned from that was this. So the next time you go to do XYZ, think about implementing this, this, and this. That is a way that you're showing. I have situations that are going on. I'm showing them so that you either don't make the same mistakes or you can benefit from what I did. You are showing them that you're knowledgeable. Why would I use you if I don't know you're knowledgeable? You are giving them documented proof when you create these types of videos. So I always tell people, you should be creating an arsenal of videos. Almost every day, you're doing something every day. And guess what? As a realtor, for example, you have a farm area for the most part. So if your farm area, for example, is East Fort Lauderdale, when you go to pick up your dry cleaning, pull out your phone and do a video. Hey, I'm at such and such and such and such. This is the best dry cleaner on the east side. It's a wonderful neighborhood. And guess what? Maybe you'd like to live in this neighborhood too. Give me a call or follow me on Twitter. So use everyday, quote unquote, mundane things as a way to get content. Because I think sometimes people think I don't have anything to, the hell you don't. You do something every day that you can relate to what you do, whether it's a lesson, whether it's the actual product or service or place itself. Use that.
Dr. Tachi's getting fired up, ladies and gentlemen. Use the dang video. I love it. So
yes.
I mean, so there's just so much to go on here. You're killing me, because I am such a huge fan of what you just said. When you're in your community, right? When you're in your local town and you think you've got nothing to add, right? And all you have to do is just promote the local business that you're visited. And what,
Absolutely.
and that just shows you something about your character, right? Among everything else, you just told the world, I care about my community. I care about the success of the small business. Why wouldn't someone want to see that in you, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Think about that. Local is we people care about hyper local, especially
Mhm.
this country. We tend to be very fixated on what's happening in our communities, and there's nothing wrong with that. So why not highlight what's happening in your community? Get together, especially if you're a business person. Get together with these business owners and say, "Hey, I do a series of short videos. I'm a real estate professional. I'm this. I'm that. Whatever you are. Would it be okay for me to feature you? Could I do a short interview with you?" They love that type of thing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because now you're promoting them in front of their audience. So now everyone sees that, hey, I'm just promoting Dr. Tachi, and she's got her entire fan base is seeing you, the realtor, promoting Dr. Tachi. So your fan base, her fan base, you're growing your brand considerably by doing stuff like that, right?
Yes, it's new audiences. I think the good thing about video and including other people in your video, whether it's you have a show and then you're inviting guests on, that opens you to new audiences. Now,
Yeah.
that doesn't always mean they're going to follow you on social media or come back to the next time you do a show, but that's okay. The point is that you've exposed yourself to new audiences and you will retain some of that audience that will become your audience. And the others will be like, you know what? Wasn't there a did you have weren't you on a show with a realtor that XYZ? Do you have their number? Or do
Yep.
you have a way to contact them? New audiences.
Yeah, love it. So, yeah, this whole thing about I'm going to go back to Tom since we connected through Tom's room. He
Yeah.
mentioned about the law of reciprocation. Do you know what that is? Have you heard him say that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so it's I come from a missionary background, and it is all about doing unto others the way you want things. That whole King James thing. But treat others well, you'll be treating well in return. Right? It's really that simple. And then Tom comes up with this. Well, there is this law, universal law of reciprocation, but it's just doing the right thing. Good stuff happens. Right? And so I hear people all the time saying, well, I want to monetize this, I want to monetize that. And instead of doing anything, they're paralyzed because they don't know how to monetize things. I don't know how to monetize everything. And I've got a ton of stuff to learn, but I'm not going to sit still and wait for some light bulbs to go on that may take years. In the meantime, I'm going to serve others and help them. And my guess is either at least good things will happen to them and I'll feel good about it, and then maybe something comes back to, which is not that critical at all, right? So with all of that, and it's a long-winded question, but should people wait for perfection, or what's your advice to someone that says, yeah, this makes sense, but what can I do? I mean, I've never even done it before. What can I do?
Just start. It may sound very simple, it may sound very cliche. Just start. If you wait for perfection, you will never do it because there is no such thing as perfection. There is a perfect for you, but there is no universal perfection. I
Mm.
think that we scare ourselves into not doing things because, oh, I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right
Mm-hmm.
car. I don't have the right this or that. But let's talk about video. We will stave off doing anything because we're waiting for some magical camera to drop like manna from the sky. And it's not going to. Start where you are. Because if you
Mm.
can't, what is the use of even waiting to get all this wonderful equipment if you don't even have an audience to see the
Right.
wonderful things you're doing? Just start with whatever. I don't care if it's a Fisher Price camera. Start with your Fisher Price camera and work up from there. Respect your audience enough later to get better and add better equipment. But it's okay. This thing, as they say, there are levels to this thing, right? That
Mm-hmm.
saying. So these things come in steps or in levels. Step one is deciding what you're going to talk about and who your audience is. Step two is actually then, what do I have that I can use in this endeavor? Oh, I have a phone. Well, guess what? That's going to be my camera until I can save up the money for something better, until
Hmm.
I decide that this is what I want to do for a long time. Start with what you have and start where you are.
Yeah, I just yeah, so into this. The I started when I did a video a couple of years ago, and it was horrible. Right? I mean, I
Oh,
just looked at the video and I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. And then people said, people commented, said nice video or whatever, and I'm like, oh, they're just being nice. But the point is that as much as we think that the video may not be good, it resonates, doesn't it? I mean, just the fact that you're doing something different, it separates you from all those who are afraid of doing it. And I see you nodding. So, what's
exactly.
your thought?
And see, the thing is, again, we're judging ourselves on a Spielberg scale. And the average person is not expecting Spielberg work. They're not. They're
I
not
needed
like
the music from the
the
Star
BTS.
Wars entrance or something, right?
Yes,
Something,
yes.
but no, that was not there. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, we did. You can put it in post. No
Right.
worry. Look, I think we judge ourselves on this George Lucas, Steven Spielberg,
Hmm.
Spike Lee. Enter your director of choice there.
Yeah.
This level that nobody is expecting from us. Now, I'll be honest, because this is what I do. I am looking at people's videos and like, we need to do this, 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 and
Yeah.
this. But that's because that's what I do, and
Yeah.
my goal is to help you become better. That's to say, a be more is one of
Yeah.
my sayings. So get better. I'm there to help you get better with that.
Yeah.
But the average person watching you is just amazed and enamored that you come on a regular basis and share what you know. They're not necessarily looking. Now, yeah, they may notice some things
Hmm.
definitely, and they're definitely going to notice when you get better. Oh, your camera looks great. They're going to notice.
Right.
But the point is that they are there for you. I think there are more people that are there for you, wanting for you to win, than want for you to fail.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that's
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
That's us thinking, oh, I'm going to fail. People are going to, no, I may look at you like that because that's what I do. But the average person that was in your audience, they're not going to. All you have to do is look at YouTube. I am so judgy, unfortunately, when it
Hmm.
comes to YouTube. There are great people I follow on YouTube, but I'm always looking at your sound is terrible. Could you
Mm.
put an external mic on there? But the YouTube audience doesn't care. And these are people that have like 25,000, 30,000, 50,000 people following them with terrible sound
Yeah. Imagine.
and mediocre video.
Yeah.
But they're doing it. And so the point is that your content is king and queen. If
Oh
you have
yeah.
that content there,
Mm.
people will follow you into a paper bag.
Oh my
They will follow
goodness.
you.
Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, I just read something about this about looking for perfection and oh, it was on websites.
Ah,
And so on the website, I was watching a YouTube video about creating a website. So I'm kind of like doing things myself to some degree. I'm doing the video, started looking at how do I do my own website because I hired someone I'm not thrilled about and all that, right? Hopefully they're not listening,
ah,
but such is life. So I
that's
started
okay.
I started exploring. It's like because I went to this thing through some nonprofit on creating websites, and then I started searching on YouTube about someone who created websites, and they were using like Wix and some other site. And the person said, "Don't worry about how your website looks at first. It's the content." Right? If your content's terrible, it doesn't matter how beautiful the website is. However, if your content is awesome, it doesn't matter how ugly the website is either, right? Because you're going to get people that want to see the content, or read the content, or so forth. I see you nodding. What's right with that? What's wrong with that? You tell me.
I think that again, that when it comes to websites, yeah, at first, the point is people want some place to go to show that you are an actual entity, whether it's a product or service or whatever the case is. They want to see websites legitimize you. Now, we can say that it's starting to. There are other ways of being legitimized now. People say social media, etc. But for a lot of people, having a website legitimizes your venture, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
may be. And so initially, no, just get something up. Websites are constantly a work in progress. So as you go on and get more money to do things better, excuse me, you can get off of the Wix website and
Mm-hmm.
have somebody build you out something in WordPress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have a developer build out something really nice for you. But guess what? Squarespace, Wix, any of these places will get the job done initially. They just need some place to know your days, your hours, what you sell, and that type of thing. And as long as things are spelled correctly, it flows, it's good information, it's all good. Because I've seen flashy websites and I'm like, did they read this for grammatical errors?
Right. Yeah. I have a lipsum. I've got the Latin text in a website that's never been
Yes,
right. It's
ipsum
like
durum.
it's
Yeah.
the yeah, exactly. So someone used that as filler, and then I'm like, how do I change this? And I can't, so it's like I got to take control of this because I want to make that change now. So don't go to my website yet, okay?
Okay, we won't.
Because it's got that. It's like, well, who's reading Latin? I think it's Latin. Whatever. Enough about
Well,
that.
you don't have to have it live until it's ready.
Yeah, well, they must. We thought it was ready, but I found that little paragraph typo. That's all.
Ah, okay.
Anyways, enough. That's stressing me out already. That's that. So let's. So all right. So what is so? I already asked what you do, but what I mean is like, so I'm a small business. I want to be better at video. What is it you could do for me? Or anybody that's right. So this is like what is it that you could do for a small business, and what size business really makes sense to work with you?
That's a great question. So one of the things that I'm really passionate about is taking people who want to do video but know nothing about it and helping them get started in a very rudimentary, I shouldn't say rudimentary, but a very simple way, using a cell phone, using it, and then we get better from that point. If you're intermediate and you just don't, or a mid-sized business and you just don't have the time to do it, and you want to hire us, for example, to help you do those things, that's doable too. And then even for very large businesses, um, we can do those types of things, commercials and such. But my biggest thing is really teaching you how to be better with what you have and what to use to level up. So that education end of it and that training end of it is what I really like to do, even though I'm a get my hands dirty person and I do the
Mm-hmm.
production. So that's video, but that's also live streams. Now with live stream, we definitely are full service and we run everything. So we actually produce a few shows right now for some major corporations,
Mm.
and that's like all live. So creating any videos that go there, creating all your titles and lower thirds, transitions, we do all of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So who should be doing live streams that isn't?
Again, like with video, live streams can be beneficial to every single field, people in every single field. For
Okay.
those people who definitely want to, if you have clients, if you have customers, since we're talking about business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and sales. So, if you have customers, if you have clients, that is the best way for them to reach out to you in real time to be able to ask questions. One thing I love is when people have these Ask Me Anything. I do that periodically on my show, Ask Me Anything Wednesday. So that's the time that you can get on and ask me anything about production, cameras, lights, live streaming, anything that you want to know. We can sit and talk about it. And we usually do it like we'll do it on Instagram Live and on other things. And then people will come in and ask questions. So that is a great way to get to know your audience. Those types of ask me anything live streams, but any type of live streams work as well. If you're at an event, go live for a little bit, like you're a reporter. Hey, I'm here at such and such, and we're live, so that you can get that in real time. You would be surprised how many people want to be in live videos, want to be highlighted live. Now, of course, if you're going to do that and you're going someplace, get permission first, unless you're in a public place. But if you're going to like a business or something like that, get permission first. But I've never been told no. Never.
Yeah, because it's, people look at it as like podcasting, right? It's like you're going to be on the national news. No, this is a podcast with Harry Spate. I hate to break it to you. We're not quite at that level yet, but we do have great guests. But so I got a question for you then, if you don't mind. So I heard that you really should have a tribe, for people to watch the live stream before you just go out and start live streaming. What's your thought on that?
I love that, because who is going to watch and discover you? Discoverability on live stream platforms can be very difficult. So basically, I'm going to go with Instagram Live, for example. On Instagram, people can discover you, but more often than not, the people that come into your live streams are the people, those circles, the people that you already know, that are already following you.
Yep.
And it's going to be the same with a lot of other platforms as well. So it is to your benefit, not only to form a tribe, but to, here we go with reciprocity, the norm of reciprocity. Before I even went live at all, I started my show July of 2015. I got on Periscope and Meerkat in March of that year. I didn't go live until July. What I was doing was building and getting people to know me. I went in other people's lives and made comments. There were people that did it all the time. Oh, hey, they got to know me. So when I finally did go live, oh, she's live? Because I had built up a tribe of people that you go in their live streams all the time. There are other people you see through, like, hey, such and such, how are you? How are you? They see you go live, then they're wondering what you're talking about. And those same people are still a part of the Mediascope Massive, as I call them, today. You definitely want to have a tribe. You build that before you go live. Sit and watch and wait. Ask yourself, who else is doing what I want to do? That doesn't matter if they are, because you're going to be different. What is in the space? What value can I add to this live streaming space? And am I going into other people's live stream and being an active contributor? Because you can't expect people to come in just because of who you are, unless you're a celebrity.
So going into someone's live stream, does that mean commenting on it, not necessarily being a guest on their live stream?
Not necessarily being a guest.
Okay.
You can. So that is a way to do it, right? Pitching yourself. Now, ironically, I've never pitched myself as a guest. People will just see me and ask me, and I always say yes.
Yeah. You have that personality.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But if you know you have good stuff that you want to say, find podcasts and find live streams that are aligned with what you believe and what you have to say, and pitch yourself. Say, hey, I'm such and such, and I do such and such. I would really love to be a guest on your show. So you can pitch that way as well. But I was really more so talking about in terms of being an audience member in these live streams and forming alliances and friendships, if you will, with other people who watch these live streams.
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
I picked up a heck of a lot of people for Mediascope. I do a pre-show on Wednesday. I picked up a lot of people because I am a card-carrying member of Club Quarantine. So Club Quarantine is a live DJ set that DJ D Nice does. If you know him from Boogie Down Productions, he has become a sensation because he started DJing for free during the pandemic, bringing people joy. And so there were a lot of us who knew him from like the early days of hip hop who have all connected in there. And we have become
Gotcha.
like a family and a tribe. Because of that, and because they know my name and we know each other's name, anytime any of us goes live, a whole barrage of CQ
Nice.
people come
Yeah.
in. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about in terms of forming that tribe. Going in other live streams, forming connections with other people, they'll want to be connected with other things that you do.
Yeah. This is so interesting because I was kind of looking at it like, so say there are people that are in the space similar to me. I admire their work, but I don't want to be viewed as going in and taking from them, right? And just making connections and so forth. So I'm very apprehensive about that. Should I be or?
No, well, not as long as it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
When when I do things in pure intention, you just go in. There are people that you see all the time. So you speak. First thing I do is like, "Hey, everyone, how are you?" Even if it's a live stream I've never been in before,
Mm-hmm.
people start to speak back to you. You make comments on what the live stream person doing the live stream is saying. Make comments to other people when they say something that's funny. You laugh. So
Yep.
it's really natural. I wouldn't be apprehensive at all as
Okay.
long as it's natural. If it's not resonating with you, then okay, yeah, don't force
Yeah.
it. But chances are, if you're going in there on a regular basis, it's because the information and the people resonate with you.
Yeah. So, like in this particular case, the person is really good on social media. I know the value of social media. I can help people, but it's not my livelihood, right? So I go in and learn about being better at social media. I find people that are, similar to me that want to be better, connect with them because there's banter, right? Just as you
Right.
described, right? There's laughter, you say something funny, and then you connect. That's the natural thing that you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's
So,
perfect.
all right, cool. So then I've got, and I know I'm keeping you here, but I appreciate your
I
time.
have
You're
all the time in the
you're
world.
super helpful. All right, so let's see. So if someone wanted to hire you, say it's the old Harry Spate, and I took me months and months of working on video and trying to find what apps to use and how to edit video, and I wanted to be better and so forth. So say there are people like me that just wanted to get started. You would help them with, like say someone was remote, you would help them, well, this is how you do it,
Mhm.
and this is how you would edit. I mean, do you do all, or do you do the actual editing and putting music on it, or talk
Yeah.
to me about that?
Either or. I
Okay.
can actually do the training end of it where I tell you what to do and how to do it. But I actually, like I said, we actually run live streams and we can do full service of all of that as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
can create an entire show for you and run it, execute it, also monitor comments on the different platforms. We go live to multiple platforms at once. So we do it all, but we can
Mm-hmm.
also train you on how to do that.
Yeah. Interesting. And so I think there's tons of value in for people to have a conversation with you because it sounds like you know your stuff and super helpful. You've been around the block. You know what works, what doesn't work, and you're flexible. So
Yes.
what's not to love here? Am I missing anything, Dr. Tachi? You have the floor. Did I miss anything? Feel free to share with us what you'd like to share with the audience.
No, you were very thorough. I really appreciate that you gave me a space on your platform. I think I will just say again to start where you are. Don't be afraid of video. Video is nothing to be afraid of. I would say to think about having a conversation with the audience as opposed to it being an ominous presentation. No, you're
Mm,
having a conversation with me. It's you and a few of your friends. Think about it like that. Those are the types of videos and live streams that resonate when you're just having a conversation with your friends, right? Or family. Those resonate best with audiences. And then, secondly, once you've got that down, start where you are, but then respect your audience enough to get better in terms of the way you do things, in terms of the equipment you use. don't get complacent, because think about it, this is almost like the television industry. After a while, if something gets old, people stop watching. So keep asking yourselves, what can I do? This information is needed. How can I refresh it? What can I do to add some fresh perspective or some bells and whistles? Keep getting better. That's what I would say.
Goodness. That works everywhere, doesn't it?
Everywhere.
Everywhere in life, right?
Yes.
Relationships, work, hobbies, just, but it's true. I mean, I get a kick out of people who are, using Zoom and can't share a screen. And it was cute in the beginning, but after 2 years, it's not cute anymore, right?
Yes.
Watch a YouTube video on how to share a screen, get good at it, right? I mean, there's all kinds of things that we could do. It's cute for a while, but after a while, it's not cute anymore. Then it becomes borderline annoying, and then it turns into annoying, and then you lose your audience, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So my suggestion is talk to Dr. Tachi. She's going to sharpen your saw. It's so great having you, and I look forward to continuing to learn from you and finding you on all kinds of cool places. Media Scope, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Go to Instagram, Dr._Tachi. So Dr_TACHI. You can DM me there. I'm on there 24/7.
All right. You're awesome. All right. Great stuff. Thanks again. And Sales Made Easy listeners, let's start using some video and find this woman. She's awesome. Man, sales is tough. I'm just not cut out to be a salesperson. Have you ever felt that way? Selling doesn't need to be so difficult. My name is Harry Spate. I'm here to serve and to help you succeed. Join me as we discuss Sales Made Easy.